Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Big fight coming up this weekend. It's funny me saying it's a big fight when the guy who's fighting Nick Ball is like 5'1". But don't underestimate him. Nick Ball is a problem. He's going to be fighting Brandon Figueroa. Where is it? Let me show you what we're dealing with here, because I'm telling you, big things about to happen. Now, this right here is the 126-pound division. Okay, there's Nick Ball, ranked number 3, and Brandon Figueroa is right there, ranked number 7, and Bruce Carrington is ranked number 6. Now, when you come and you take a look at what you got, Nick Ball is the WBA champion over here on the far right, 23 wins. He has 0 losses and 1 draw. Okay, and if you look here, Brandon Figueroa is ranked number 1, so they're going to be fighting. Now, Bruce Carrington, he doesn't have a mandatory yet, but I'm pretty sure they're going to try to put a mandatory on him because he just picked up the WBC title. But the fight to make is Bruce Carrington against Nick Ball. That's the fight to make. They were talking about Bruce Carrington possibly facing Espinoza for the WBO strap. But the bottom line is, if there aren't any mandatories and the WBA cooperates, you want to talk about a really good fight would be Bruce Carrington and Nick Ball. Absolutely. And then ultimately, if you come down here to the 122-pound division, you got Naoya Inoue, who is sitting there, who has all 4 belts. And they're just that's 122 to 126. You're talking about a difference of 4 pounds. Now, Inoue has already bubbled up multiple divisions, but that ain't nothing for him to go up another 4, especially if he wants to be great, and try to pick up a strap, especially if these guys are able to unify. And Inoue goes up to 126 and finds himself in a unification bout. But that being said, the fight that's taking place this weekend is going to be Nick Ball and Brandon Figueroa, taking place on 7 Feb. And what's cool about it is actually happening back in England, and Nick Ball's been fighting away from home for a while, so now he's back at the crib. Now, he has a 57% KO ratio, and a lot of people are super excited about seeing him fight because, again, he's like 5'1", 5'2", maybe 5'3". He's short, but he is hell on wheels. If he was 6 feet tall, no kidding, he'd probably be pound for pound the best boxer in the world. That's how vicious he is, man. He throws over 1,000 punches a fight, and he will knock you out. Now, he's taking on the former 2-division champion, Brandon the Heartbreaker Figueroa, who has 26 wins, 2 losses, 1 draw with 19 knockouts. And they can scrap. But this is what I'm looking at, home field advantage. You know, when you fight in the UK, hey, the referees, I'm not saying they're biased. What I am saying is they seem to stop fights prematurely, opposed to what they do over here in the United States. They just let you fight, through hell. Sometimes you get something we feel is premature, but in the UK, man, somebody hits you bing bing, they're quick to stop the fight. But I do think Nick Ball's going to have home field advantage, fighting in Liverpool with a huge crowd behind him. It's going to energize his pressure and physicality. That's going to benefit Nick Ball. He thrives up close, makes taller fighters very uncomfortable. He's got a lot of activity. He's got a fight rhythm. He fights more frequently, staying rhythmically sharp. And that karate chop style, man, he mixes clever boxing with constant pressure, not just wild brawling. To the untrained eye, they may be looking and thinking that Nick Ball is just the ultimate mashup crash-up. Nah, it's not just wild brawling. He knows what he's doing, and he likes to keep you off balance. If Nick Ball is forcing exchanges, he'll have a lot of success because he won't let Figueroa snap off volume easily, and judges are going to favor Nick Ball. Now, for Brandon Figueroa, I mean, look, he always has a chance to win. These guys in here throwing over 1,000 punches in a fight. That's crazy, and it could overwhelm Nick Ball if Nick Ball stays at range. But he got maybe like 4-inch height advantage. He got a couple inches in reach advantage. He can box behind the jab and keep Ball at bay all night if he chooses to. And then he's got power and he can finish. So I'm just curious to see that this is a really big fight. and Brandon Figueroa has experience in big moments where he's been at the world level longer, and he's been able to pull out big wins, man, multiple title runs and big fights. And Figueroa can control the distance, and where Ball's going to want to maybe brawl and get on the inside, Figueroa could clinch, tie him up, and preclude him from having success. But I tell you one way that Nick Ball can lose, since we talked about him winning and how Brandon Figueroa can win. If he just walks straight into Figueroa's jab and hand, I mean, at some point in time, Nick Ball, he's human. There's only so many of those shots he can take. He can get worn down across the fight by long, sustained pressure. Judges value volume over Ball's power exchanges sometimes. And Figueroa keeps him at range and doesn't allow the inside game. But Figueroa, he could lose it all out there in the UK. If Ball bullies him up close, if Figueroa's overextending at mid-range, he's going to get countered. And Figueroa fails to set his jab consistently, he's going to allow Ball to dictate the fight. So bottom line is he can't let Ball herd him around the ring, especially using the home crowd's energy to his benefit. So it's going to be interesting to see, man, who's able to execute the game plan. I'm going to be looking at punch stats. Figueroa regularly lands high volume and a lot of power shots. Ball doesn't throw as much as Figueroa. I think Ball could throw 1,000 punches around if he wanted to. I mean, a fight if he wanted to. But he lands solid shots, and he pressures inside. So, hypothetically, Figueroa, he lands more punches with volume and outworks Ball on the cards. If he can do that, he wins. But if Ball can cut the ring and land harder, clean shots and control the pace, he wins. Plus, he's at home, so don't expect anyone to do any favors for Brandon Figueroa. There's a lot at stake, man. Nick Ball has his WBA strap on the line. And if Figueroa beats him, he's back in the mix. He's a champion. And then next thing you know, come down Bruce Carrington, who's a WBC champion, man. Carrington called out Nick Ball. Carrington favors Ball, even in a Figueroa fight, hinting at Ball's chances. His chances are very high because of his style. But it would be interesting if Nick Ball won and he and Bruce Carrington got into a scrap, because that's going to be a very interesting fight. Very, very interesting, man. But we got to wait and see, because Bruce Carrington may get hit with a mandatory by the WBC and not be able to go into an immediate unification. So the fight dynamics, I mean, I just got some questions, Who controls the distance? Because you don't know until the fight happens. Who wins the tight inside exchanges? Does Figueroa's volume outscore Ball's aggression? Does Ball's pressure break Figueroa's rhythm? So these tactical battles will decide whether it's going to be Ball by unanimous decision or TKO, or Figueroa by outworking Ball or him getting a knockout. So we just got to wait and see. What you got is a featherweight war, and Ball versus Figueroa. The punch stats, I think, is going to, and the type of shots landed is going to determine the winner. And depending on what they want to do and how the sanctioner bodies are moving, could get Bruce Carrington next. Anyway, y'all keep cool in the breeze.